a 1991 closed-door meeting of fellow internationalists, billionaire and former CFR chairman David Rockefeller praised his media allies. But his confidence that his words would not leave the room was later broken.
We are grateful to the Washington Post, the New York Times, Time Magazine, and other publications whose directors have attended our meetings and restricted their promises of discretion for almost 40 years. It would have been impossible for us to develop our plan for the world if we had been subject to the bright lights of publicity. But the world is now more sophisticated and prepared to march toward a world government.
That these men aim to create a world system of financial control in private hands, able to dominate the political system of each country and the economy of the world as a whole. In short, they seek total and quiet control of the entire world.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to DocTalk Q&A. I'm Dr. Darrell Wolfe. Now, you might be saying to yourself right now, why would he play that? Why would he play a video like that? What's that got to do with my health, my family's health, my children's health? Well, guess what? It's got everything to do with it. If you want, go back and listen to it, and then listen to it a few times, and you'll understand that, let's just put it this way, 95% of the media is in the back pocket of the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the royal family, and if you've never heard of the Bilderberg Group, you might want to look that up too. And you don't need to go down the hole and way deep down, but the reality is this, you know, that's the group that wants what we call the one world government, the one world order. And that's where we'll all be taking orders from them, and we will be enslaved by them, which we already are. But I'm not, because I mean, it's not like I can overthrow them. But the reality is at least I know they're there, okay? I don't get involved into all the political stuff. I get involved into my stuff, my life. I want to help you with your life. You know what? We're the little people. Well, guess what? If all us little people got together and we stopped taking things in that were toxic to the human body, and we actually honored our bodies, this whole matrix would crumble. Understand something. How do you think it feels for these people to actually rule the whole planet? And you can think I'm making this up. You can actually think that your government works for you if you'd like. They pretend to, because your government actually works for this group, just like this group is the Pharmaceutical Association. This group is the food corporations. I mean, come on. Think about it. Your government is there to protect you, but meanwhile, you know what? Every corner store has more toxic cancer chemicals than anything else you could ever. I mean, if you go to a corner store, you know you're buying something not good for yourself, right? But meanwhile, why is there so many? Why is there so many drive-thrus? Why is it that it's so difficult for me as somebody who wants to eat well? If I want to go out, I got to drive far. There's only two places in my town of 250,000 people that I like the salad because it's good enough to eat. It's okay, though. I don't mind, because I know that planet Earth is an adventure. And honest to God, that's the way it is. I mean, every day there's some kind of drama queen event that goes on, especially with me and the way I talk, the way I walk, the things I do. And I understand that. But the thing is, you know what? It's okay. Some people don't want to know about this. I just want to live my life. I want it quiet. I want it peaceful. Well, understand something. Is it really that peaceful? Them forcing vaccinations on us? I think we should have a choice, don't you? Okay, talking about how the coronavirus is going to take us all down. I mean, every second year we have a virus that's going to end the world. Anyways, I'm going to do my best. I would really like it if all us little people would come together and take back the world. Hey, wouldn't that be something? What if we actually stopped doing the things that we knew were toxic to our bodies and abusive to our bodies? You know, I said to somebody, it was a doctor, because I was doing some lectures in Orlando, and you can watch those on Facebook. I did them live, and I was talking to him one-on-one, and he was talking about his own health, and he's telling me all this stuff about what he knows. And I said, look at your own health. Your core is on the floor. You can hardly walk, right? And you've got 2 doctorates. And he's a medical doctor. I said, understand something. There's only love and there's only hate. And he said, that's the ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. I said, well, let me ask you a question. Are there things that you do, like eat and drink, okay, even think, that you know aren't good for you? And he goes, absolutely. We all do. And I go, well, would that be a hate program or would that be a love program? Are you trying to tell me that that's a love program you're running? And he goes, oh, you got a point. So, you don't know what you don't know, and it's okay that you don't know, but once you know, then it'll help you grow. Now, some people just don't want to know because they're so scared, but we don't need to be scared because you know what? This planet, okay, is ours. It was given to us, all right? And just remember something. You need to take your life back. You need to take your health back, and you need to create the perfect day for yourself. You need to mind your own business too. So you're saying, well, Darrell, you're not minding your business. Well, I'd like to know what's really going on out there, who's really pulling the strings. It doesn't mean that I'm going to change it, but at least if I know who's doing it, then I know whatever they decide to do or whatever decisions they make, I don't want to do them. I don't want anything part of them because I know it's just a manipulation, a contamination, okay, inflammation. That's why we're an inflammation nation. So anyways, go back and watch the video again. So what I want you to understand something, are your decisions your decisions? Is your mind your mind? Okay? Just something to think about. All right? Before I get started here, I've got a couple things I want to announce. April 4th to the 24th. All our certifications are sold out, so we can't take anybody else. July 4th to the 24th in Kelowna, we will have a whole life coach course and a Wolfe non-surgical course. There's only 3 spots left. Isn't that something? That's the good part about life, eh? People are really catching on to my whole life coach certification. Professionals and lay people are coming to take it now from all over the world. And people are starting to understand about Wolfe non-surgical, that you can actually learn a technique that you can reverse things that fast. That's right, on a physical level. Take a look at it at itioh.com. And then we're going to be doing a combined certification in Orlando in September, and then another one in Palm Springs in November. Now, I will be going to Orlando about 8 weeks prior to September. I think it's going to be like in July I'm going there, or June. I can't remember. I'll have the dates next time for you. And I'm going to do a full day lecture called How to Thrive and Stay Alive on Planet Earth. And we'll let you know where it's going to be. It's going to be at the Omni Hotel in Orlando, Florida. And then I'm going to be doing another one in Palm Springs, and I'll be doing that one in, I think it's August, okay? Is it August? I hope so. Nope, it's September. I'll be going there in September to do that one a few weeks before, just to let everybody know and understand who I am and if they want to come and take our courses, okay? Our upcoming show schedule, Wednesday, March the 11th, is Cancer Incorporated with Ralph Moss, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Friday, March the 13th, okay, lucky day, Cancer Incorporated, live Q&A with Ralph Moss at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So you're going to want to watch this show because I'll tell you something. He is the whistleblower when it comes to the pharmaceutical associations and the FDA. Wait till you hear what he's got to say, okay? He based his whole book on this, and you're going to be able to download this PDF for free, all right? You're not going to want to miss it. Wednesday, March the 18th, okay? All right. So we're going to show you a woman who has toxic and twisted arthritic hands that nobody could help her. She's had them for years. I'm going to show you how I reduced one of her knuckles down by, in about 10 to 15 minutes by about 60 to 70%. You'll see it. It's live on video. And it's called Toxic and Twisted. Arthritic hands, toxic and twisted. And then on Thursday, I'm going to show you how to work on your hands. And if I have time, I'm going to show you how to work on your feet. And then the following show, I'm going to show you how to work on your knees. I'm going to show you how to work on your wrists, and your elbows, okay, so that you can start taking action. Okay, our objective is that we want to show you how to do as much as you can, and then if you want to take it further, you can come to us and we'll complete the training. But we want to give you as much as we can so that you can understand that you are powerful and that there is a practitioner inside of you. So let's get started. All right, so our first question, okay, our first question is from Pamela, and this is from Intercom. Good morning. I have an 8-year-old daughter who has tongue sores and red and puffy swollen gums. She had a fever, a headache last week, which lasted a day and a half, and then she seemed to be better, but woke Friday with these sores. Okay, now take a look at the pictures. This first picture is from Friday. The second is this morning. Her breath is also unbearable since these white sores appeared. Now, watch this. I'm going to walk back through here, everybody, and read this, and then I'm going to bring Pamela on. Hey, listen, Dr. Phil doesn't have anything on us, right? Oh, talking about Dr. Phil, we are going to be doing an emotional, whole life consultation kind of lottery. So what you'll be doing is you will be going to my Doc of Detox page, go to consultations, and you're going to use the password or the code word SHOW, SHOW. Then if you fill out the form, I'm going to do one person every week. I'm going to do a live emotional consultation. Okay, so now this is somebody who would like to come on live, and I will do an emotional consultation. And, you know, we can talk some about nutrition, but this is not like a full-fledged nutritional consultation, all right? Now, that is worth $350 US. So if you want to fill it out, then you'll use SHOW, and then we will let you know when we're going to do our first one, which will probably be sometime next week. Right, Drake? Yeah, sometime next week. Let's go back through Pamela's question. Good morning. I have an 8-year-old who has tongue sores and reddy, puffy, and swollen gums. Now understand something. If you've been watching my Q&As, you know that I told you that gum disease, gum problems is a bum problem. It's not a gum problem. I already said that. Remember, I said it many times, so the word's already out there, so it's not like I'm making it up. And then now, she had a fever and a headache last week, which lasted a day and a half, and then she seemed to be better, but woke up Friday with these sores. Okay, here's the deal. So now what is a fever? A fever is where your body boils your blood to get the infection out. Okay, so it wants to get the infection out of your tissues and out of your blood. So then it creates a fever to burn the infection. Now, when it does that, when you boil things, does it make it bubble up and come to the surface? Well, that's why she has the sores on her tongue. That's what happens. Same thing with pimples on your face. All right? Toxins out. It's got to come out. All right. So now she seemed to be better. Then she had sores on her tongue. This picture was taken on Friday, the 2nd in the morning. Her breath is also unbearable since these white sores appeared. That's right. Okay, now that is because this girl, okay, so Pamela, how old is your daughter?
She's 8.
She's 8 years old. So now this 8-year-old girl, I'm going to tell you, if you took a look at the picture, everyone, you'll see a white coating on her tongue. That white coating is toxins, but in a lot of cases, you'll actually see the white coating. Well, the white coating is more of fungus. And then you see the red spots. Well, those are called red flags showing how toxic she is, okay? Now, do you see the other picture where she's got her tongue hanging out to the side, everyone? You see the ridges that are cut in the end of the tongue? That's showing that she's actually got sores and cuts in her intestines. This girl's 8 years old, and she already has autoimmune disease. She already has a leaky gut. So let's ask some questions here. So let's see. How old is she? 8 years old. How much does she weigh?
maybe 50 pounds.
50 pounds. Okay, now, how long has she struggled with her bowel problem?
You know what? Visually, I never thought she had a bowel problem. She's very regular, and it's the right shape, and it's the right color.
Okay, how often do you actually look at her bowels? Honestly.
She's in my bathroom, yeah, I'd say once or twice a week.
Okay, well, she has a bowel problem. Because how else could you get inflammation and infection in your body if you didn't have a bowel problem? Okay?
Right.
All right.
Right.
Now, you just said here her breath is unbearable. Now, if anybody, if you watch my stuff, my Q&As, you'd know that I say that. So if her mouth smells like her bum, would there be a clue there?
Yeah.
Okay, so we know that she's 8 years old. She's already putrefying and rotting in her large intestine. So wait until she starts her period. Whoa, she's going to have so much pain in her pelvis. She's going to be home from school. Okay, wait until she starts having ovarian problems. Okay, wait until she starts having bladder infections. They're all coming because where she's actually constipated is in the last 8 inches of her bowel. And remember something, her bladder, okay, her uterus are sitting right in front of there. So she's leaking that waste in. Okay, so now let's be honest here. How much water does she drink? And does she drink water?
Yes, she drinks a lot of water.
Okay.
I want to say she would have probably 30 ounces in a day.
Okay, what kind of water?
I don't remember what it's called. We actually just recently had to replace our old system. So this one has the UV light in it. UV light? I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly. Anyway,
it's okay.
so
Ultraviolet light, you are. And the reality is that's a filter. But the reality is, if it's not structured water, it doesn't.
Right.
Structured water will hydrate 1,000% better than just filtered water. Okay, so understand something. See the pustule on her lip on the side? Okay, that's how much pus and infection is in her bowel. Okay, so what are her bad habits?
As far as what are you asking?
Okay, does she eat dairy?
Somewhat. We're not milk drinkers, so the only major dairy would be like a Greek yogurt, and then the odd time some hard cheese.
Okay, so here's the deal. So what's worse than milk? Oh, yogurt and cheese. Why? Oh, why is that, Dr. Wolfe? Well, because the yogurt is concentrated milk, okay? Oh, but Dr. Wolfe, the good bacteria. No, the good bacteria is cow's bacteria, and we're not cows. Yeah, but it's good bacteria. Yeah, but it's not alive. All right, so we just got sucker punched. And Greek, wow, talk about advertising. I can't wait until the Asian yogurt comes. What about you? Probably nobody wants to buy it, because then it might have coronavirus bacteria in it. Who knows? No, I'm kidding. The reality is that this is all, we are so easy to market to. What did I just say? Did you see the video? Oh, you didn't see the video I played, okay? We are all just being brainwashed, right? Right down to the letter. Now, cheese is the worst because it's a concentrated milk. And remember something. Did you know that dairy creates more inflammation, and of all the foods we can eat, it is more cancer causing than any other food we could eat? So why would we even have that in our house? So what else does she eat? Bread?
Yep.
Okay.
Bread, yep.
What kind of bread?
Like usually a sprouted or a whole wheat.
Okay, whole wheat bread. It's going to tear her apart. Tear her apart. No whole wheat. You can't do it. Nobody should be on whole wheat. That's like the last thing you want to eat. Okay, it'll tear.
Rye. Those are the three.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have her on bread at all if you could do it. It would be whole grains, okay? So what else does she eat? There's got to be more junk food in your house, because I'm going to tell you, you know what? This girl has a bowel problem, and I guarantee you if I were to take a look at her bowel movements, I would see that she has a bowel problem.
Well, we do not offer juice to our children or pop.
Okay.
Like I said, they don't drink the milk, so really their only liquids would be water.
Okay, so let's put it this way. What does she eat during the day? Tell me what her meals are. And you got to be right to the letter. I want to know her worst day because it's her worst day that's causing this. So what's her worst day? What does she snack? What is she?
Cereal and milk.
Cereal and milk.
Which I can honestly say would be once every 2 weeks.
Well,
sorry, that's what I'm talking for breakfast.
That's as far as you know. That's as far as you know. You're busy too. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, normally I make them breakfast every morning, so we would have eggs often. Very often we'd have eggs, either egg whites or whole farm eggs.
Well, whole farm eggs, you should never just do egg whites. So somebody made that one up. Okay. All right. So what else does she eat during the day? Because why is she having this problem? Did she have a few rounds of antibiotics lately? Was she on any cold medication?
She had antibiotics once or twice, maybe when she was very young.
Okay.
Maybe once, actually, even.
Okay. What else?
No, we avoid that at all costs.
Then what else is she eating?
Well, to school would be, sandwiches sometimes, a lot of homemade soup. She loves raw vegetables and fruit. Lots of raw vegetables and fruit, so cucumbers, carrots, celery,
Okay.
peppers,
There's something.
salads,
No. Listen, there's something missing here. There's something terribly missing. So, what kind of trauma has been in her life the last few months? Is she getting stressed out at school? Is there stress in the house? You can't have this happen, okay, unless you're trying to bury your emotions, okay? And there's something else going on here.
Not that I know. The house is good, and school, I mean, she's only grade 2, so that's good.
I understand that. So anyways, what you're going to need to do is you're going to, first of all, when she had the fever, not that you'd want to do it, but if she had an enema, that would have broke the fever. Okay? So we know that there's putrefaction in her bowels. So she is backing up. So if you were to get her on the daily cleansing tea, get her on the tummy love, and get her on the black gold, and try to do some blender drinks for her made out of berries, okay? And you better stay away from the bread. And you better stay away from the dairy if you want this thing to turn around. And you know what? You just can't bring cheese and milk into the house. And if you're going to do milk, do almond milk.
Right.
Okay? But you can't do the cheese. And the yogurt, anyways, you can't do that as well. And I'm sure if I went through your cupboards, there's other things. Because there's no way that this is just happening. It's not like she was cursed, right?
This would be a general for the entire family, I'm assuming, as far as the dairy is concerned?
Okay, first of all, you need to understand something. Just because it's not showing, okay, if somebody eats a poison, who's it not good for?
The person that ate it.
That's right. So it's everyone. So she's like the canary in the coal mine. So she's very hypersensitive. Like, I'm not saying this happened, and I need to get on to the other questions. But for some reason, okay, her gut, okay, she's got leaky gut, and she's got a bacterial problem going on in her gut. So it's like somebody has done antibiotics, or maybe, in some cases, the mother would have been on antibiotics while she was pregnant, or something happened here, or there's a ton of stress going on in her life, and she can't let go of something, but there's something going on. So if you take, so you could have, like, let's say, how many kids do you have?
4.
She got 4 kids. They're all eating similar, right?
Yep.
But they all have different personalities, don't they?
Yep.
Okay, so this little girl is not processing her emotions. So if you were stressed out and you feel anxiety, okay, as a child, because I know I did, okay, did you know that I had ulcerative colitis when I was 10 years old? Go figure. I mean, I would buckle up right on the sidewalk. I would never want to tell my parents. And you know what? Children that age never want to tell you anything to bother you, because parents are always stressed out anyways, and that's the God's truth. Think about when you were younger. You didn't want to tell your parents, and you didn't want to be a bother to your parents, did you?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, she's not going to be any different. So you need to sit down and have a really good talk with her. Somehow she's getting into the sugar. Somehow she's getting into the flour products. Somehow she's getting more dairy than you know. And somehow she's more constipated than you know. I'm telling you right now that this will go away. This will go away. And anybody that has a fever, there's always a bowel problem first. Always a bowel problem first. Now understand something. You've got to create the environment for the virus or for the bacteria to want to do something like this, right? So inside there's got to be putrefaction. All right?
Okay, so you're saying, I mean, for now, like as far as the pain for her, like just by changing her diet, it'll just...
As far as what pain?
Oh, her tongue. She's just... And the picture I never took of you because I just... Or of her for you that I just saw this afternoon.
Guess what?
She's got all the white sores by the teeth. Like right beside the teeth on the gums there too.
Okay.
I'm sure
Her large intestine is blowing out. This same girl, if she doesn't look after this, is going to have... she'll definitely have fibroids, scar tissue. She could get endometriosis, bladder infections. She could even go fertile because there's no way that this infection isn't down in her pelvis, because it is. Now, I'm going to tell you, for her mouth, guess what? You're going to love this. Pain away spray. Okay, this is a fulvic spray that takes pain away, and she can spray it right in her mouth. Okay? The other thing that she can do is take this, the silver bullet, and start spraying it in her mouth. And if she was doing that like, I'll do the silver, then I'll do the fulvic, I'll do the silver. You know what? Probably within, I don't know, a couple hours, the tongue pain's gone, the inflammation. And you got to get her bowels moving. You know, if it was my daughter, I'd get an enema bucket, and I'd do a warm water enema with some tummy love in it, with some warm water, and I would do an enema on her, rub her tummy, then have her sit on the toilet, and guess what? You're going to dump some real stinky stuff. Now, listen, you telling me that her breath smells terrible, right? Smells like her bum. Wait till you see what comes out, okay? You might even see some worms come out, okay? Yeah. So understand something. Thoughts are very important, and do you understand that your daughter holds stuff in? She's not talking to you about things, and there's something stressing her out. So I will put my reputation on it, and I'll put my reputation on that when I was raising my children, when I first started to raise them, I didn't wake up right away. I was clueless, and I never talked to my kids. And I realized by the time my third child came along that I needed to sit down and talk to them every day. How are you feeling? Have you had how's your poo? Is your tummy hurt? Is there anything that you want to talk about? Like, what do you love about your life? What did you like about your day? Was there anything you didn't like about your day? And this only takes a few minutes, and parents do not do this, so please don't tell me they do. They don't. So the reality is to get your kids to the point, and if you could get your children to the point that she knew that she could tell you absolutely anything. Well, Mommy, I didn't want to tell you this, but guess what? You know those sugar candies? Well, guess what? I've been sneaking them when you didn't know it, and I've been taking them to my room and sucking on them. And what are you going to say? Oh, honey, you know what? Mommy shouldn't have bought them. Right. And guess what? I'm right. And there's something you're not telling me, or something you don't know, or something you're not looking at. Because when it rains, you get wet. Okay? When you have infection in your mouth and your tongue is on fire, do you know what it's saying? You're not eating another thing until you stop eating what you've been eating, because you've got so much inflammation and so much putrefaction here that I'm going to make your tongue hurt so that you don't eat. And that's her body talking to her. It's not like God cursed her. So there's something you don't know. All right. And you've got food in your house that you haven't told me. So just know that. And I know that. You've got junk foods in your house that you didn't tell me.
Well, I guess I wouldn't think that. I mean, again, you asked for the daily.
You didn't. Yeah, but guess what? Everybody, okay, it's not like you did it because you were a bad person, Pamela, but nobody wants to tell people about the junk foods that the mother and the father eat and that they give the kids when the kids aren't well, because we're all addicted to sugar and flour and the chemicals out there. We're all drug addicts. So I know that if I went into your cupboards and I went into your fridge, I'm going to find stuff and things that you might even not even realize because everybody's doing it. It doesn't make you a bad parent. It's just telling you she's the canary in the coal mine.
I guess I don't want to. The thing is, we're not the family to sit down and have popcorn or chips or pull out the chocolate-covered almonds every night after dinner, right?
I understand that, but understand something. When you go to talk to your daughter, you're going to find out. You need to just be a loving detective, and you'll get to it. You know, there's going to be emotional issues here, and there's going to be other things that she's eating more than most people are eating in the house. Okay? Okay, it's not like you live in the kitchen, okay?
Yeah.
It's not like you're not busy. You know, I'm going to tell you something. I thought, and my wife thought, we both thought, because we sent our oldest daughter to a private school, she was safe. But then she started doing ecstasy, and then she got on even harder drugs. And we thought we sent her to a private school because she was safe. And it's not like I wasn't intelligent or informed. And then as soon as she started acting weird, then we got on top of it.
Right.
You know, so understand something. Be really open with your children and allow your children to be open with you, and make sure that you don't judge. Make sure you observe, and make sure you don't punish. Make sure you learn, you train. Okay? All right? You train them that it's safe to talk about everything. All right. Let me know how it goes, but guess what? Get her on the daily cleansing tea. Get the pain away spray. Get the silver spray. And get her on the tummy love, daily cleansing tea. And I'll tell you something. She's going to turn around and then find out what she's been sneaking in the cupboard. Okay?
Okay.
All right, love. Thank you. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
All right. Let's see if we have any questions. Okay. What do you suggest for mold detox? Okay, but are you talking about mold in the body or mold in the house? Can you please send that in again, Iris? We'll get to that, okay? I still want to go through everything that you don't want to know, but understand something, that if you have mold in your body, chances are that, which would be candidiasis, that you would be talking about you've done antibiotics, somebody's a sugar junkie, you have to be. Somebody's eating too many refined carbs, flour products, things of that nature. But you can text that back in. Lucy, in order to get better sleep, do you have suggestions for people who snore? I'll tell you right now, people snore really because they're trying to get their breath, right? Okay? You got to get rid of the dairy, and you got to get rid of the flour products, and you should be doing things like daily cleansing tea, because you got to really move your bowels. Inflammation really causes a lot of snoring, so we know that. And I'm going to tell you something right now. Between the 5G coming, the wireless, the wireless in your home, and all the cell phones, believe it or not, it's choking us off. You think people have lung problems and breathing problems now. Wait until 5G. You know, if you saw the pictures with the Chinese people just dropping, they weren't dropping because of the coronavirus. They were actually dropping, if you can believe this, they were actually dropping. No, it's not the charger. So they were actually dropping because what happens is 5G actually causes the electrons. See, two oxygen molecules, they have electrons they share. And 5G causes the electrons to spin so fast that when the oxygen comes into the body, the alveoli cannot pick it up properly, and the hemoglobin cannot pick up the oxygen properly. So people were actually being choked to death. So that's the real story. So the reality is that all of these frequencies that are not good for us, which basically blue light is a frequency, the 5G, the wireless, all of these frequencies are not healthy for us. So you can actually have a breathing disorder in your own home because of wireless. Where were we here? Now, as far as snoring goes, well, like I said, you can, if you detoxify enough, you're not going to be snoring. And also, the problem too is if you do a lot of dairy, I can remember when I used to do dairy all the time, and I remember this one time that I really got into Bailey's, and between the cheese, the dairy, the Bailey's, I couldn't even breathe. The swelling in my sinuses felt like they were going to blow my face up. And I'll tell you, when I first came around and realized about how to do when I put together the Wolfe non-surgical, and I went in there and I learned how to go in there with the elbow, you wouldn't believe the scar tissue that you build up in your sinuses. And what happens is when your sinuses inflame, they swell. When they swell, they don't allow air in. So go figure, right? So most people will actually snack at nighttime, won't they? I was talking to a lady on the phone yesterday, and her husband likes ice cream every night. And you know what she said to me? 1 second. She said to me that he has tinnitus so bad, ringing in the ear, that he does not want to go in public anymore or go where there's any noise. But she said, but he will not give up his ice cream. And I'm just like, wow. Like, we're not programmed, all right? So we are programmed. And it's like this. I already said that, We run self-hate programs. I mean, this guy's going to continue eating his ice cream every night. The tinnitus is so bad that he can hardly hear, and he blames it on because he had his truck window open. Yeah, it's not. It's from inflammation. Inflammation causes scar tissue formation, crystallization, and whether it's in your nose or in your ear. And guess what? If you've got a sinus problem, eventually you're going to have a hearing problem. If you have a sinus problem, eventually you're going to have an eye problem because it's just one big cave in here. All right? Also, if he has a sinus problem, then he should be taking our silver with a nebulizer, and he should be breathing to go in and use the silver bullet, right? And also the Bright Eyes Fulvic drops, and he should go in there and disinfect in here, and that's what it'll do. It'll help to get rid of that. So you've got to reduce on the dairy, but I guarantee you that his bowels are clogged. It's just like she's telling me, Pamela's telling me that her daughter doesn't have a bowel problem. Where does all this pus come from? Okay, I guarantee you that when she has a really good conversation with her, she's going to find that her daughter has lots of pelvic inflammation. All right? Do you want to know something? We just don't talk to our kids, do we? All right? So even my son, and he's an adult now, and he's still at home, and I make sure every day that we just sit quietly and we just talk. We just talk. Because everybody's on the run, or everybody's on their phone. Everybody's doing something. You need to calm it down and just talk. And let me ask you a question. Would you allow anybody to say anything in your family without blowing up and reacting? It's going to be really important if you're an adult with your children to make sure you do not lose it, okay? All right? Don't let society do this to you. They're always trying to get us to hate something or punish something, or something's got to be punished, This is a punishment society. So like I said to you, Pamela, make sure that you're open, please. Stay really open for your daughter. And guess what? You'll be surprised how things are going to change. Okay. Also, if you want better sleep, nothing's going to do it like the Avicin. Check out Avicin in my library. Go to the Light and Energy, go to the Energy Medicine Guide, and then go take a look at the videos and go take a look at Avicin. Avicin will increase the microcirculation in the body 100% more than any other energy medicine device. This is not a commercial. That's a reality. And if you increase your microcirculation, you're going to increase your breathing. Okay? So check that out as well. Next. Jack, would you recommend having a TVT, which is mesh tape, is placed under your urethra, vaginal mesh removed or leaving it in if it's eroded twice, bearing in mind the risks of removal versus leaving in polypropylene in your pelvis. Wow. I am not a surgeon, Jack. I can't even tell you. For one thing, it's a vaginal mesh, so you must be asking for your daughter or for your mother or your wife. And the reality is that stuff is a foreign body in your pelvis, Jack. So there's going to be continual inflammation. So there's going to be continual scar tissue formation, calcification. So you're going to have to, Jack, if you're asking about your wife, you would want to learn how to gently do Wolfe non-surgical and just keep the tissues apart. So that we can make sure the blood and the lymph are in there to carry the toxins away, because you're going to have a large mass in there. Okay, vaginal mesh, I'm going to tell you something. Anybody here understand something? Do not get mesh. If you got to fly out of state, out of province, you fly. You go get sutures. You know what? There was nothing wrong with sutures. They dissolved, but guess what? So they make mesh for $30 and they get $2,000 to put it in. Think about that. Sutures is the way to go. And I'll tell you, before you even go for surgery, if you were to do the perfect day and then go on an advanced water fast, you may not even need the mesh. Now, as far as getting the mesh out here, I'm not a surgeon. I'm not a medical doctor. The reality is, when you put this mesh in, your body goes, this is a foreign body, and it goes to attack it. So it puts tons of scar tissue, calcification, and crystallization. So what it does, it tries to wall off from the rest of the body. So it's like a rebar and cement. So yeah, trying to get it out could be a real mess too. But if this is disintegrating, okay, oh my gosh, polypropylene, if this is disintegrating in there, that is so toxic. You have no idea. I mean, that is a toxic mess. I don't want to scare this person. So, but what you better be doing is you better be on such a clean diet, and you better be emotionally balanced, because if you are someone that reacts all the time, then you're going to be highly acidic because you're dumping adrenaline and cortisol all the time. And then if you got this problem, it's like a sitting time bomb. And you better make sure your bowels are moving, and you better be on structured water, perfect day diet, and you better be doing the ultimate coffee enema. And there's a bunch of other stuff too. If you want to give me a call, whoever this is, I'll do what I can. But as far as answering a question of getting the mesh out, I'm not a surgeon. I'm not a doctor. Emma, I have numbness in my, and by the way, what about infertility with this mesh? What about scar tissue in the fallopian tubes, continual bladder inflammation? What about cysts on the ovaries? What about incontinence? Okay. What about endometriosis? I mean, wow. This is, like I said, this is a ticking time bomb. And I'm not trying to be a drama queen. It truly is. Why do you think when you're in the States, commercials come up all the time? If you've had mesh, call this number. Jump on our lawsuit. Well, yeah, because mesh is a life-threatening situation. When you get mesh, you don't even realize that, guess what? The brain problem, the heart problem, the lung problem is actually from the mesh that's in your groin. And that's the God's truth. All right. Emma, I have numbness in my hand because of MS and also itchy spot that isn't skin but nerve related. Do you have any advice on how to reverse damage? Let me tell you something. MS, I believe you got to go directly into the large intestine. You got to clean that up. You got to do like the ultimate coffee enema. You've got to do the perfect day diet. And then we've got to do some fastings here, because I'm going to tell you something right now. It's a scar tissue issue. What do you think numbness is from? The scar tissue, the calcium, is probably wrapping itself and choking off the nerve, so the nerve doesn't have the impulse anymore. I guarantee you that if we went in there, we could find the scar tissue and the knots that are blocking that. A lot of times surgeons will say, yep, can't see the nerve, it's dead. It's not dead, it's calcified, it's mummified. And actually, you can bring that back. Unless the nerve has been cut, the nerve's not dead. The nerve's not dead. Okay, I have a lady that sent me an audio. I will play it on the next show. The next Q&A next Monday, I'll play it. And this is one of the top surgeons in New York telling her that the nerve is dead and that they have to fuse her spine. Not true. Let me tell you something. It's true for them. They're not lying. It's true for them. But you don't know what you don't know. And the reality is that I tell people that I know, and I say it because I offer a money-back guarantee that the first treatment you are going to see that you can reverse a spinal problem. I'm not talking about being crippled and the spinal cord cut here, but a spinal problem, whether it's you need to have fusing done or a slip disc. Well, where did it slip? Down your pants? There's no such thing as a slip disc. It's a bulging disc. And what happens is the discs also in between the vertebrae, they dehydrate and they thin out like beef jerky, but we can have them come back. Did you hear what I just said? Yeah, they'll come back. You give me somebody, like I just talked to a lady who's coming here, and I think she's coming here in June, and she's coming here with her daughter and her husband. She lost 2 inches so far, and I told her, how would you like it if we get you back at least an inch and maybe 1.5 inches of your height? Because she didn't lose bone. We think we lost bone, but it's our discs have thinned out. Okay? And even if you lost bone, the bone's in your tissues, and we know that we can get it back. We can get the calcium back into our bone by using SAC calcium. Okay? So the numbness, understand something. You got to understand. If you do what everybody does, you're going to get what everybody's got. Are you ready? Are you ready to be the unicorn? Are you ready to take a stand and do what nobody else is doing? Are you ready to be a health nut? Okay? So the way that I live, are you ready to live the way that I live? And the way that I live like this because I don't live to eat. I eat to live. Do you understand? I don't have a pain body. Everybody has to live with pain. You're going to have to live with pain if you're going to be like everybody else. I mean, if you're going to be like everybody else, you're going to be like everybody else. It's really crazy, right? People will come to me and they'll have somebody in the family just had a heart attack or they just been diagnosed with cancer, and everybody in the family eats the same way. But because you've been so brainwashed to believe that it's genetic, it runs in the family, that you don't even take a look at your diet. And I'll tell people that was proven a long time ago. They did what was called the genome factor, and they went to prove that it was all genetic, and it blew up in their face. And we know that it's like 3 to 5% of cancers are genetic, and that you can actually wean out the genetics by changing your diet, by changing your thoughts. Go figure. And everybody's still going on about this genetic thing, and that's the only real trump card that the medical system is sitting on, okay? But we already know it's not genetic, it's habitual, okay? All right? It's habitual, all right? What, you didn't eat the same? And then also just by thinking, well, my grandmother had it, my mother had it, so I'm going to get it. Right, okay. You know what, I got to tell you something. When I was younger, I always thought, in the back of my mind, even though I'd been in health for a few years, that my mother died, my father died of cancer before they were 55, right? And I knew I was going to go, right? So I went back there and I saw a psychic. And I won't tell you what the psychic said, but, you know, when we're desperate and when we're not in charge of our life, we'll do anything, right? We'll go to psychics, we'll do tea leaves, we'll do whatever. But let me see. What diet? Let me see here. This is really moving fast. You guys are really sending in a lot of messages. Here we go. What do you suggest to you? Oh, just know this, and you may not want to believe this, but I believe that if you treat your body right, you can reverse MS, because I already know that. I've seen hundreds, maybe thousands of people reverse MS. I'm not kidding. All right? You have MS symptoms. You know what? Yeah, okay. I've seen people who have MS that have been in wheelchairs that stopped doing Diet Coke and got out of the wheelchair and didn't have MS anymore. And it had nothing to do with me. So understand something. It's not so much what you need to do, but what you're doing already, how you're poisoning yourself. You know? Okay? Like I said, it's called unconscious, subconscious hate programs that have been put in here. It's not like, oh, I hate myself. Well, some people do. But it's not like you're saying every day, I hate myself, I'm going to do this. It's we're unconsciously doing things. And that's why they know out there, and that's why I showed you that David Rockefeller video at the beginning, because we're all programmed. We're just cattle, and we're just part of the herd, okay? Off to the butchers. All right. Where are we here? What do you suggest to use for toenail fungus? Okay, so you're not going to like this either, okay? But if you got toenail fungus, then you've got leaky gut, your bowel's so broken down, and most of the time that's from antibiotics. It can be from alcohol, it can be from beer, it can be from sugar, ice cream, too many flour products. And if you've got toenail fungus, you didn't get it because your boot was dirty, you didn't get it because your sock was dirty, and you didn't do it because you live in a damp area, okay? If that was the reason, we'd all have it. So if you got toenail fungus, the chance of you getting cancer are really high. Now, I'm not trying to scare you, not trying to fear you, but cancer is a fungus. And the reality is, if you've got a toenail fungus, you've got fungus throughout your body. So if you've got fungus, we know you got worms. If you got worms, we know you got bad bacteria. So we know that there's putrefaction in your large intestine. Toenail fungus, what I would do with that is we've got what's called super strength oregano, okay, all right, and it's an extra strength oregano, like really strong, like one drop and you'd know it. And what I would do is I would soak that with even a little bit of 3% hydrogen peroxide, or maybe just that, and wrap the toe with a soak pad of oregano and really wrap it tight, okay, and put that on every night. So you want to choke it off, not the toe, but just really wrap it tight, and then use the oregano. And then what else can you do? And then, like I said, you could try a little bit of 3% hydrogen peroxide as well, and soak that in 3% hydrogen peroxide. What else can you do for toenail fungus? Well, you got to understand something. Until you fix your gut, you're never going to fix that. And until you get over your sugar craving, because you've got one, and if you don't have a sugar craving, I'd be very surprised. And just know this, the more antibiotics you do, the more you're going to have it. So what happens, if I can explain it to you? Sugar doesn't cause toenail fungus. You've got to have done antibiotics or some type of drugs or something that would really disable, okay, the good bacteria in your large intestine. Now, we know that we have what's called yeast in the large intestine, but when you do antibiotics, because they're similar, they are a form of chemo, and when you do that, they go in and they knock out mumps bacteria. And what it does is, when you knock out mumps bacteria, you change the inner terrain of the large intestine, and the yeast goes from yeast to fungus. Then the fungus starts to drill holes through your intestines until it then goes into your bloodstream, then becomes systemic, so it goes throughout your whole body. And because your toe has less circulation than even your hands, they have less circulation than almost any part of your body, the fungus is going to go there. And because you do sweat a little bit in your boot, so your boot is damp, it's moist, right? It's dark, and low circulation. I guess what you got? You got fungus, right? So what else can you do? Well, if I had it, okay. If I had the fungus, I'd want to make sure that I really start cleaning my large intestine out. I'd do the daily cleansing tea. I'd do the tummy love, okay? I'd also do the black gold. I'd start making shakes up with the black gold. And I would also take a look at the pure and clean diatomaceous earth, all right? But understand something. Until you bring up the vibration of your diet and your thoughts, and you stay low vibration, you're going to be in trouble. I would be doing the ultimate coffee enema. Okay, I would be doing that as well. So understand something. People will tell you to go on a candida diet. And I'll tell you what a candida diet is. It's a pain in the butt. I would want to find a diet that I'm going to use that I can stay on for the rest of my life. But you're going to have to get rid of all these sugar cravings, because that's a big part of it right there. Okay? Yeah. I don't want to give you too many things to do, but that's the main part of it right there. And you can always, when you write these questions, you know, everybody, if you want to give me some more symptoms, like, okay, I'm 40, this is my weight, I did antibiotics this many times, I've had this many surgeries. If you want to make it longer, I'm okay with that. It gives me more information. I can make it more specific, all right? Okay. Why is the girl's constipation in the last 8 inches of the intestine? No, that's everyone. And I'll tell you why. Because it gets too dry. Because there's not enough whole plant-based fiber, and there's not enough liquid, not enough water. And it depends on what goes in. Like if you're drinking fruit juice, that's not great. It's the sugar is going to jam you up anyways, right? And if you're drinking milk, it's going to inflame you, and it's going to constipate you. We already know that, okay? So even if you were drinking a fair amount of water, if you're eating too much bread, doing too much dairy, if you're eating too many dead animals, like too much animal protein, you're going to get jammed up, okay? So, you know, if I was cutting a bunch of logs and I threw them in the river, but I forgot to put water in there, it's not going to move along, right? So it's all about circulation. So understand something. I think it's like about, I think it's around 60% of all bowel cancers are in the last 6 inches of the bowel. And that's in male and female. It's not just girls. Mentioned girls because they have a lot more parts. We've got prostate and bladder. They've got a lot more things going on down there, and they suffer a lot more than men do. Okay, so just understand that, a lot more. And why do they? Well, they got a lot more bells and whistles, and they also bring in life into the world. I mean, our job's over pretty fast, right? So they bring life into the world. So there's going to be a lot more bells and whistles saying, hey, it's putrefying down here, it's inflamed down here, okay? All right? Get your act together, because if you have a baby, you probably won't be able to keep it, okay? Because the baby is not going to be healthy. So how many people are losing babies? A lot right now, because their pelvic floor is rotting out. And I know you don't like that word, but it's true. The actual tissues and the tendons and the muscles that are in the pelvic floor are actually disintegrating from the inflammation and the putrefaction. Yeah, I know. It's new information. How do you kick the carbs? Okay, first of all, did you ever notice something? The time that you really, I apologize if I don't say people's names. I hope that's okay. Jason, how do you kick the carbs, Jason? Guess what? The only time that we really want carbs is when we get tired, right? So when you want carbs, okay, go eat fruit. When you want carbs, drink more water. When you want carbs, go exercise. But I'm telling you right now, when you're in a hurry and you have anxiety and you're running around like this crazy, you will grab something fast, okay? All right? Especially and guess what do carbs do? Well, they make you tired, don't they? Okay? They give you a boost and then down. Up and then down. Oh, yeah. There you go. So every time you come down, you want more carbs, right? So that's why it's a vicious circle. It's like a roller coaster. So how do you get off them? You don't buy them. That's right. You don't buy them. Okay? So you just stop buying them. So understand we're all addicted to them, and don't think the food industry doesn't know that. All right? You got to stop buying them, guy. That's it. You stop buying them, you'll stop eating them. And then if you really want them, just don't bring them home. Have a rule. The whole family say nobody's allowed to bring junk home. Nobody's allowed to bring carbs home. It will be a little bit tough going because you're addicted like a druggie. Okay? And they know that out there. Why do you think when you go to the restaurant, they give you all this bread? It's always about the bread, isn't it? I tell them, don't even bring the bread, because I know if they put the bread there, and if I go out to eat, I might grab the bread, okay, and the butter, because it tastes so good. But guess what? The butter and the bread, we become addicted in our brain for it. Yeah. Um, the more that you start drinking enough water and getting enough nutrition and eating a whole plant-based diet, it'll leave. And be patient with yourself, because it's like any addiction. No addiction's going to leave right away. It's the funniest thing. Once people decide they want to get rid of something, they are not very patient. You're going to have to be patient, because you have to prove to your subconscious and your brain that you don't want it anymore, because your subconscious only plays prominent programs. So if you're addicted to something, that's a prominent program. So be easy on yourself, but hold the line. Hold the line. Don't bring it home. Take and drive a different way. Don't go by that bar where you were drinking the beer, or where you used to buy the bread, or you get the donuts, or take a different way home. Start connecting to your breath and doing the Lionheart breathing. Start exercising. Find something fun to do. You know what? You'd be surprised on how much food I don't need. Okay? You'd be surprised on how much food you don't need. I mean, you've been programmed to think when you're tired, eat. When you're bored, eat. Right? And most of the time, we need water. Water has hydrogen in it, and water actually gives you energy. You know what? I'm going to tell you, this is a true story. I ate 3 meals in 4 days when I was away in Orlando. And I did a lot. I was traveling, meetings, everything. I drank, and you may not believe this, I have a 40-ounce container, and I drank 6 of those. That's 240 ounces. I left yesterday morning at 5:30 in the morning. I got home at 12:30 last night, which would have been 3:30 in the morning. So I left at 5:30, got home at 3:30. That's 22 hours of traveling. I drank, okay? There was no, believe it or not, there was not one place of the airports. I usually buy carrot juice or vegetable juice, freshly made. There wasn't any. So I just really hit, okay? I really hit the humic and the fulvic, because I was traveling and I want to do a lot of humic, because when you're in a plane, you don't want all the infections everybody else has. So I drank, without exaggeration, 4 40s. And I have a 40-ounce thermos, right? So I did water. And I'm going to tell you something. That was hectic. And I got up this morning, and I've been full blast all day. How am I doing? So understand, I know that if I would have eaten incorrectly and did any carbs, I would be toast right now. I'd be wanting to go to bed. Okay? The body is a lean, keen energy machine, as long as you keep things away from like sugar and dairy and flour products, right? Processed foods are a killer. What diet would you recommend for a recovering alcoholic? Let me tell you something right now. There's a product called Son Formula. And if you've got an addiction, you want to take amino acids. This formula here, it is 98% absorbed amino acids. And the other thing is I'd also want to get on ATP, all right, which is right here. And guess what? It's a 5-carb sugar. What it means is it bypasses the Krebs cycle, and it won't make you crave sugars, but it's sweet enough. And I would also put super cinnamon in your drinking water to balance out your blood sugar levels, right? And I would also stop hanging around with the people that you used to drink with. Don't test yourself that way. And if you're married to an alcoholic or somebody who drinks, you're in big trouble. You need to find, and if you're not, do not get together with anybody except somebody who does not drink alcohol. And go pick new friends. If you have friends that drink alcohol, you need to get rid of those friends. That's the truth. Or you're just going to go back to drinking alcohol. So you're going, what? Who the hell is this guy? Like, I'm going to give up my good friend Bill, that we've been friends since we were little boys. Just because he doesn't want to give up alcohol, I don't have to. Well, guess what? Being addicted to alcohol is bigger than you, okay? So the reality is you're going to have to start, let's put it this way. What do you do with your spare time? You're going to have to do different things with it, right? So that means you're going to have to do different things, which means you need different people, right? And that means you're going to need to go different places, right? So you got to think about all these things. And then you've got to make sure that you're not putting any stimulating foods in the house. That would be sugar and flour and dairy, right? And that means and do things like this, like carrot juice. There's a lot of, and eat things like lots of grapes, have watermelon, make blender drinks out of strawberries and things of that nature, and get yourself, I think this is the best protein. You know, it's an MLM. I'm not big on MLMs, but it's called Zija Moringa protein. And if you call in the office, they can sign you up and you can get it wholesale. So I would be doing that. I'd be looking at doing the perfect day diet. I would be cleansing out my liver. And if I had an alcohol problem, I'd be doing an ultimate coffee enema, and I would be doing that coffee enema twice a day. Yes. Why? Because it's muscle memory. You've got to get rid of all of the poisons and toxins in your brain, which the ATP I just showed you will do. Okay? And I would also be on fulvic in my drinking water, super cinnamon in my drinking water, and I would be using this coffee, and I'd be doing 2 coffee enemas a day. Yep. And I would be writing down every day what I want to see in my life, what changes I want. And I would stick to it. And guess what? And I would get a whole bunch of love bands. Why? Because guess what? If you're not going to go to my 12 Braveheart loving steps. If you're not going to do mirror work, and every time you go in the mirror, you're going to go, you know what? Let me see. Hold on one second here. Drew, if you're not going to walk in the mirror and go, Drew, I'm going to love, protect, and respect you all day long. I'm going to make great decisions. I'm going to stay connected to my breath, do the Lionheart breathing. And guess what? I'm not going to let anything piss me off anymore. I'm not going to let my mind be a landmine to use other people as an excuse why they mess me up and I need to have a drink to calm down. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take the ATP. I'm going to take the super cinnamon. I'm going to start making blender drinks, okay, with fresh organic fruit in it. And I'm going to have 1 good salad a day. I'm going to put fulvic acid in my drinking water as well. I'm going to do coffee enemas. I'm going to do the daily cleansing tea. And then guess what, buddy? If you fall down, you give yourself a big hug and you go look in the mirror and say, I love you, Drew. It's okay. It's okay that you fell down. But we're getting back on the saddle. Because, Drew, I'm going to tell you something. Everything that I ever wanted, I had to fall down so many times. You have no idea. I'm still falling down, Drew. And when I fall down, I love me. That's why I was telling that woman earlier, the mother, Pamela, I said, don't punish your children. Talk to them. And Drew, don't punish yourself anymore. Let yourself off the hook, dude. Just tell yourself you got this and that you can do this. And that's the deal. Every time you beat yourself up, you'll be back in the bottle. And if you're not back in the bottle, you'll be back in something else. You'll be taking prescription drugs to numb yourself out, or you'll be going to street drugs. So you know what? When you talk to yourself that you're not good enough, then you'll want to be someone else. And when you want to be someone else, then you're going to have to do something that makes you feel like something else. And guess what, Drew? I love you. You're good enough. All right? We all grow up and we're all trained by our parents, okay? Not all of us, but most of us are trained by our parents. We're just not good enough because they weren't good enough. Well, Drew, why don't you be the guy that stops the family curse? How's that? Kathleen, can stem cell therapy treat type 1 diabetes? Well, it can, but I've never heard of it curing it. And if I had type 1 diabetes, I would really learn how to respect my body. You know, it's very rare that I see somebody with type 1 diabetes that actually eats right, okay? Because they believe that the insulin is a ticket to ride. No offense to anybody out there. I'm sure you're out there. But it's very rare. It's like a unicorn to find a diabetic, type 1 diabetic, that has a really great diet. End of story. I mean, even super cinnamon. What else? The ATP, Divine Vine, the fulvic acid, the whole 9 yards here. You'd be surprised. You know, it's not a rarity to see somebody get on our protocol and within 6 weeks to 2 months, their insulin drops by at least 50%. You heard what I said. And I'm not going to tell you anymore because guess what? I know, well, I won't. I'm just going to tell you this much. When you believe you have unlimited potential, there you go. I'll let you fill in the blanks. I was diagnosed with a sinus infection over a month ago. This is Sherry. Have went through 2 rounds of antibiotics because all of my natural protocol wasn't working. I have had fever the whole time. Well, you didn't do coffee enemas, Sherry. You didn't do the daily cleansing tea, and you weren't nebulizing with the silver bullet and the fulvic. I guarantee you that. Okay? And there's something in your diet that, and also you can do the antibiotics. Go right ahead. Myself, you already know the story about antibiotics. Okay? And I believe that antibiotics should be used in a life-threatening situation or they're going to cause one. So was your sinus problem a life-threatening situation? I believe that it was an infection, and I believe that nature has the key, all right? I've had fever the whole time. Well, if you had fever the whole time, you got to get the cork out of your bum. So you got to get on the daily cleansing tea, or you should just do yourself a warm water enema and get that moving, and then do some coffee enemas so that you can cleanse out your liver. I'll tell you right now, you've got liver problems. And it isn't because of not pooping. I have an ileostomy, so I have loose stool all the time. So the reality is you might have loose stool all the time, but you've got inflammation, okay? So you've got an ileostomy, all right, which means that this person here probably has a bag, all right? So the reality is that there's still inflammation and infection. We know that. Why would you have sinus infection if you didn't have a fungal problem? Why would you have a fungal problem if you weren't doing something or bringing something in that was creating the fungus? And what causes the sinus problem? Well, we know it's dairy. It could be sugar. So we really have to take a look at it, all right? But do the things I just said, okay? So you're not going to be able to probably do the coffee enema. But the reality is I guarantee you that you can still do enough to bring this down. And antibiotics, I don't know. We already know. I mean, you did them. Did they work? They didn't work, did they? And guess what? It's a sinus problem. So it's a fungal problem. Oh, wait a minute. Antibiotics don't work on fungus. Oh, my God. So now you went and knocked your good bacteria down. Boom. Twice. Boom. And when you do that, we just talked earlier, didn't we? We said if you knock your good bacteria down, you cause the fungus to even grow more. There you go. So they throw antibiotics at everything, don't they? And I'm not picking on you. If I had a sinus problem and I didn't know what I knew, I'd do it too. Because who can take it? I mean, pressure in your head, inflammation. But I'm telling you right now, if you want, give me a call. Give me a call tomorrow. You can turn this around. All right? Sheila, I am setting up an emotional consultation for my 27-year-old son who does not live with me. How can I support him to stop drinking and smoking marijuana? He has just started the Braveheart training. Let me tell you something, Sheila, and this is the God's truth. God love your son. He just wants to feel worthy. He wants to feel that he is lovable and that somebody will love him. And he wants to be forgiven like all of us do. You know, I got to tell you that I've worked with a lot of people in this situation, but understand something. They'd have a consultation with me for an hour every week, and it would go on for at least 10 weeks, sometimes even 24 weeks. Not all of them, okay? But they win. They win in the long run because it's all up here. Let me tell you, there are beautiful people out there that are taking their lives, okay, because they believe that they're unworthy, not lovable, or they feel so guilty about something they did, and this is just the worst thing. It's the worst thing. And then there's the rest of us that, oh my God, it's 3:15, time to punch myself in the face. And don't tell me we don't do it. It's all a big program out there, all right? It's the one world order. We'll all get in order, won't we? We'll all get in line, won't we? Okay? So, like I said before, how many people do you know actually stop doing things that they know are not good for them? Not many. Not many. I'm telling you right now, there's people that are looking at me right now on Facebook and on YouTube going, yeah, it's me. I do. And I'll tell you, you don't. Not everything. You don't, not everything. I'm very close to everything, but I wouldn't say everything. Sometimes I slip up. But let me tell you something. If I followed you around, okay, let me tell you something. Do you have unlimited energy? Are you in the present moment for at least 95% of your day? Because guess what? 95% of the population is in the present moment 2 to 5% of their day. Well, that's obvious, right? We're stuck in the past, regretting, or we're fearing our future, right? And this is not because we're not good. This is not because you're not beautiful. This is because you have dysfunctional beliefs because you never realized that somebody could come along and program your subconscious and make your life into a living hell. And trust me, you don't have to believe me, but I'm talking about most of the population. It's a rarity to find someone who isn't. Okay? Laura, I know you like the salad at the Cactus Club. What's the other restaurant you like in Kelowna, and what do you order? What's the other restaurant? Oh, believe it or not, okay, it's called the Gas House, and it's just their house salad. It's really healthy. There's really not hardly anywhere for me to go in this town. Okay. Yeah, and I really don't. The health food store, I don't like their food a lot. I really I like things to be tasty. I'm not one of those guys. I mean, my brother Marcel, Dr. Marcel Wolfe, he'll eat things that, yeah, but I like to eat things that are tasty. So I would rather drink more water, fulvic, ATP, and do more carrot juice and blender drinks if I can't have something that's really healthy and tasty. There, that's the way it is. Okay. Joanne, hi, Dr. Wolfe. I have pain in my hips. What would your advice be? Well, guess what? People don't really realize this, but I will have any person, any practitioner, doctor come on, and I'd love to debate this because I know that they'll say no. But I will tell you that at least probably about, unless you got hit in a car accident or you had a sports injury, I would say that 98 to 99% of all hip problems are caused because putrefaction in your bowel that you don't even know. It's a slow leaking. Well, come on. Unless your blood was dirty, how could you have a dis-ease anywhere in your body? So it's your bowel, and it leaks right into the bowl, which is called your pelvis, and your pelvis gets inflamed. And believe it or not, it's the actual toxins that are building up in your pelvis and in your lower part of your abdomen that are actually eating away at your hips and your spine. Go figure. And I prove that every time. And I've proved that thousands of times. People come in here with spinal problems, and we show them that they've got bowel problems, okay? They come in here with hip problems. We show them they got bowel problems, and they got a pelvic problem, okay? Inflammation in their pelvis. And that's spinal problems and hip problems. And I'm telling you, even with knee problems, if it's not an injury, why is it starting to build up scar tissue, crystallization, and all that? Okay? Rosa, I have bad anxiety. I take lots of meds. Well, if you got bad anxiety, you've got to take lots of meds because you gotta kind of like shut yourself down, right? Okay. So the anxiety is called false evidence appearing real. So we know that your parents are the ones that gave you that. So now you're going to be giving that to your children. Okay. So that's called the family curse. And if you were to take a look at what you're really anxious about, you couldn't even tell me. Because anytime that there's something wrong in your life and you're taking action, you don't have anxiety because you're making it happen. Okay. Anxiety is when you're making something up and you're sitting there stewing. Now, there could be somebody in the hospital and they're very sick, so you're very anxious, right? The reality is this. Now you've got the family curse bug where you were taught that the more you love, the more you're supposed to suffer. Well, if I suffer for everyone that is ill in my family right now, okay, I'm going to tell you something. I wouldn't be on this show. I'd be in bed too. That's not going to happen. Am I 100% here for anybody that wants my help? Absolutely. Am I going to have anxiety about the coronavirus? Am I going to have anxiety about vaccinations? Am I going to have anxiety about who's going to be the next president? Am I going to have anxiety about North Korea? Am I going to have anxiety? Oh my gosh. So, whether you want to believe this or not, but most of the population, if they didn't have this to worry about, as soon as that's over, they just bring in, it's like a lineup of stuff, because it's not really that you're worried about that next thing. It's just that you run a worry program, so the very next thing is going to come. So just like how mothers are taught to worry about their children, about their husband, oh, I just worried, that's what I do, that's what I do. Well, you need to stop doing it, because it's not doing anybody any good. It's not making anybody any safer, and it's making you sicker. All right. I hope I'm coming across okay, because you know what? I want to tell you something. It's not your fault. I want everybody to understand that out there. This is not your fault. If you're in pain right now, it's not your fault. But it is your responsibility to get yourself emotionally well and physically well. And I'll tell you right now, it's not me, so understand, I'm not like some kind of genius. I'm just a guy who did a lot of research and got information from people that are smarter than me. And I put protocols together, and I'm going to keep doing it. And I'm going to keep sending them out to you, because you deserve to be well. You deserve to be happy. And that's the end of it. And I'm telling you right now that there's a whole organization that runs the world, and they live off your pain and suffering. So someday you're going to have to say, enough is enough. I deserve to be well. And guess what? I'm as good as anybody else. And I'm taking my life back. That's what I would do. And I want to help you with it. Start the love band work. Start the mirror work. Go watch the Braveheart 12 Loving Steps. And then if you like that, go into my library. And if you really want to chew into it, go to quickstart@docofdetox.com. And if you'd like to have an emotional consultation, and I'll put some nutrition into it, you know what I mean? But I don't want to get heavy into that. Then fill out the consultation form on Doc of Detox. Put in the password show. And we'll pick one every week, okay? And we're going to decide, right, Drake, when we're going to do that, right? Okay? So that consultation will probably, I don't know when it'll be done. These guys will decide, all right? They're my handlers, okay? Do you think I could be handled? What do you think, Drake? Sometimes. There you go. Okay. All right. So bad anxiety. I take lots of meds. I always tired, depressed, pain in legs, back, and hips, as well as low iron. What can I do? Oh my God, she just said she was constipated. That's it. Rosa, you just said you're severely constipated, girl. Okay? And understand something. Guess what? It's your large intestine and the bacteria that are in your bowel that are responsible for picking up your iron. I know so many people that are taking all this iron and they still have iron problems. Well, until you get your bowel better, then you're not going to get rid of that. So, Rosa, you got to get your bowel cleaned. You got to do the liver cleansing, girl. Look, call up and then get a perfect day consultation with Karen or with Sage. And, it's $125. And then guess what? You've got free calling for life. Get them to do that. They'll do it. And they'll do a great job. All right? Get this thing going. Let me see here. Bad anxiety. Well, you know as well as I do, you worry about the same thing, Rosa, all the time, all right? Until that thing is actually resolved, and then, like I said, something else just slides right in. Linda, aside from telling people to mind their own business, how should approach those who try to lecture me on dangers of eating a low-carb diet? Well, first of all, I didn't tell you to tell other people to mind their own business. I said that when it comes to, if you want to be well, you're going to have to mind your business, which is your mind and your body. I didn't say that you should tell, hey, mind your own business. I don't tell that to people. Why would I do that? I'm not going to do that. So that's not what I said, first of all. Next thing. The dangers of eating a low-carb diet. Linda, I don't even know who would say that. I mean, almost the whole world knows that carbs are bad. So whoever's saying this is somebody who probably loves their carbs and they don't want you to leave the carb diet. So when that person says to you, oh man, it's really dangerous of eating a low carb diet. Okay, first of all, Linda and everybody else out there, I want to make something perfectly clear. If I could say this before every time I get on here, it would be great. When you're talking to someone, even your own family, you're not talking to their heart, their soul, their spirit. You're talking to their subconscious, which is usually programmed. Go figure. That's why I'm not going to get angry at my family, even if they go tell me to beat myself. I'm not going to get angry at my family when my family thinks that I'm just some kind of nut job. I'm not going to get angry at my family when my family's angry at me. Because until you find your authentic self, you'd find out we don't need to be angry anymore. We can talk calmly. We don't need, and I'm not saying that, but I'll tell you one thing. But when people come in my home or live in my home family, and if they want to do drugs or alcohol, or they want to bring chaos in here, I'll shake the roof for probably a minute, right? Because this is my zone, okay? Am I a terrorist? No. But the reality is I want everyone to bring love home and health home. I truly do. People know that's how I live, and I'm gonna continue working on that. Do I fall down? Yeah. Am I perfect? No way. I know that. But that's the fun. I'll keep working on it. Okay. So yeah, that person who's wanting you to talk to you about, you have to understand something. When people are saying something, they're not really coming from a science place, right? And they're not really coming from hard, cold facts. Yeah, man, you can't go on low carb diet. That's real bad. Oh, okay. Well, that's your point of view. And I know you really love your carbs. And when I eat carbs, it makes me sick. And I don't feel well, and I feel bloated. But thank you for that. That's enough. Good for you. I wish I could eat carbs. That's what I'd say. You know what? Do you want to be happy or do you want to win? Okay. Just had an iron infusion. This is Carolyn. I've had 1 or 2 a year, and no bread, flour, or pop products. I do stevia. I do sugar. 64 and 64 and on Pantoprazole. That's a proton pump inhibitor that decreases the amount of acid produced in the stomach. I know my gut needs help. Where to start? Well, first off the bat, you shouldn't be doing that. What you should be doing is, it's not hydrochloric acid that helps you to digest protein, girl. What it is, it's acidity because of anxiety. That's right. So this is causing a landmine in your stomach. And for me, if I felt like that, I would be doing a level teaspoon of baking soda. And if I had to do that 2 or 3 times in about 10 ounces of water, like 2 or 3 times a day, I would do it to buffer down the acid. And no wonder this is happening. Look what you're doing. Okay. Where would you start? Okay, I'll tell you where I'd start. I would go to look at my perfect day guide, and I would read through the perfect day guide and start switching my diet over, and I would start following some things, like I'd get on the curcumin cayenne 5000, I'd get on the fulvic acid, I'd get on the tummy love, I'd get on the daily cleansing tea. That's a really good start right there. Okay, I'd get structured water, because we know you're not drinking enough water. I just start with the basics, and then we can move from there. Okay, all right, and we'll answer your questions. You can call us. But again, if I was at a situation like this, I'd be getting a consultation for $125. Okay, all right, and that's what I would be doing. Are you worth it? Are you worth $125? And is it worth paying $125 to have us really start a relationship with you and then work with you on a continual basis, no extra charge? That's it. Okay. Yeah, your gut does need help. And just know, even though you're having a lot of trouble in your stomach, by what you're doing now, you're messing up your small and large intestine. Jomera, 4 days into taking the tea and only having one bowel movement a day. Should I drink more or make it stronger? Well, if you're only having one bowel movement a day, we know we got big bowel problems. You probably got scar tissue and crystallization all in your pelvis. And I don't know, did you ever have any surgery? Because it sounds like you might have adhesions in here choking this off. But I would go to a 3-bag tea, okay? And then I would try 8 ounces twice a day. And if that doesn't work, go to 4 ounces in the afternoon. I would also kick some tummy love into that, okay? All right, let's start there. Anna, are there any options than enemas for cleansing? Yeah, daily cleansing tea, which we talked about. And also tummy love, okay? And you can look at those. And I would also look at black gold and put that in blender drinks made out of berries and start with that. And then if you want to really rev things up, get into doing the curcumin cayenne and bring that inflammation down and also move out all of that mucus, okay? And that's right here. Okay? And that's the curcumin cayenne. Amazing product. But go look at the Perfect Day Guide, okay? And if that's on about page 37, start reading. And then you can check that out. You can watch the Perfect Day video. And like I said, you can email us at quickstart at docofdetox.com. And I'll give you the self-empowering steps to really learn about your mind, your body, and really take it in. Let me tell you something. I'll tell you right now, I'd love you to tell me that you took a half an hour to 45 minutes every day for the next 33 days. You know what? You'll be smarter than almost any practitioner out there, and you will be the master of your mind and the master of your body, or at least you'll know that you have the power to do it, and you will have realized that you got sucker punched when you were a kid. Okay, as the Jesuits said, give me a child from 0 to 7 and we'll own them for life. Well, guess what? We're being owned for life. Oh my God, you can go to school for 12 to 15 years and come out and not even know how to love yourself or other people, or how to make anything healthy to eat, or how to do anything financial for yourself. How am I doing, guys? Like as if there's not a game going on, okay? But you can win at this game. Okay. Margie, I had knee surgery back in 2014 for torn meniscus, and it is always swollen and a large knot behind there now. There you go, everybody. Nailed it. Nailed it. So if you can come here, Margie, I promise that in 1 hour or less, how about even maybe a half an hour to 40 minutes. But what we do is we do Avicin on you, the Bioptron. We use our Tesla. We have an original three Tesla machines that Tesla actually built here. And we'll have you do a few other things. I'll teach you about patting and clapping your knee and what to put on your knee, like the DMSO, like the pain away. You're not going to have a knee problem. You heard what I said? I'll give you money back on that. You're not going to have a knee problem. All right? You're going to reverse it. You just said you had a knot. So if I have a rope, okay, I'll take this Braveheart band and I tie this in a knot. Is it longer or shorter? Well, it's shorter, isn't it? So when we get rid of that knot, we're also going to go into your knee. We're going to find all kinds of scar tissue crystallization from surgery. Did you know that surgery causes more scar tissue than any accident or any diet? Go figure. But on the body as a whole, inflammation causes more scar tissue throughout the body than anything else. But surgery causes more adhesions than anything else. I mean, it leaves a mess. It can leave 2-inch roots growing right off of where the actual knife was. And I think that's because the cells were so terrorized. And I'm not kidding. I'm not joking about that. Okay? Your cells have consciousness. All right? So yeah, knee surgery. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. And when is it going to be? Do you remember when we're going to show the arthritic hand? Next Wednesday, I'm going to show you the arthritic hand. And then, yeah. So if there's anybody that wants to come, I'll do a live show on any type of scar tissue problem. So if you want to let me know and you're going to be in the neighborhood, right, Drake? we'll go in and we'll prove that, we're not messing around, and that every physical problem in the body is a scar tissue crystallization, calcification issue, and that you've got a physical block that is blocking your energy, your blood, and your lymph, and it's tying you up in knots. How's that? And you're not getting the nutrition and the oxygen, and it's causing everything from inflammation to mutation and tissue disintegration. Okay? Samantha, I only just tuned in today, but I'd love to ask your opinion on vegan diets. My 19-year-old has been a vegan 5 years. Her immune system is very poor. Listen, vegetarians are probably the sickest people on the planet. Okay? Whole plant-based. So that means whole grains. That means like fruits. That means vegetables. That means seeds, sprouted seeds. That means juicing. That's called healthy. Let me tell you something. Vegetarians do not mean healthy. Vegetarians can live off of peanut butter and rice cakes, for God's sakes. You know what? Yeah. So, you know what? So most young people don't want to eat animal products, but they don't know how to eat well. And because the family eats animal products and the family doesn't eat well, the kids go down, boom. Because mom and dad don't know how to eat right. They just eat, they eat like everybody else. But now, because the kids have gone vegetarian, and they're usually teenagers, and the parents buy the foods, and they don't have a lot of money. So the parents aren't like juicing. The parents aren't like doing blender drinks with great natural protein powders in them, and organic berries and almond milk and coconut milk. So the kids are eating whatever is kind of left over in the cupboards in the fridge. Yeah. She eats a lot of fresh food, but also some processed stuff. I'd love her to see your opinion. Thank you. Oh, well, that's my opinion. And the reality is, I don't know a teenage girl that doesn't have a bowel problem. And that's the God's truth. Make sure that she really increases her water. Get her to the daily cleansing tea and get her on Tummy Love. And then just make sure that, it wouldn't hurt for her to do like some whole grains. So make sure you're making some whole grains, right? Okay? You know what? I'm going to tell you, you have to eat, okay, you want to eat well, but you're going to have to eat more if your mind is like horses out of control, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? People need to eat to just calm down because they don't know how to connect to their breath, and they take things personal. The more you take things personal, the more you care about what the world thinks, your family thinks, your boyfriend thinks, your girlfriends think, the more acid you're going to cause. So the more exhausted you're going to become. So the more calories and food you think you're going to need. And that's it right there. If you could find peace and calm at a young age, wow, you'd own the world. You truly would. The world would be everything, Yeah, I can remember when I was a teenager, even in my early 20s. I mean, wow, I don't know how I survived myself. Okay. But I would tell your daughter to go to quickstart@docofdetox.com. She's really going to love some of the information. Tell her to go and watch the Braveheart 12 Loving Steps. Tell her to start doing the mirror work. Mom, you don't mind if she actually tells herself that she loves herself, do you? Because most parents would probably cuff the kid across the head if they did that. Don't be so selfish. You know what? When somebody tells you that you're being selfish, and I like to drive this home, it's because the other person is selfish. Because they usually tell you you're being selfish because they don't want you to live your life. They want you to live their life. So, would you allow your daughter to wear like a love band and go 3, 2, 1, I got this. I love myself. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to respect myself. And would you allow her to say out loud into the mirror, I'm going to love, honor, and protect myself today? Because the more that we love, honor, protect, and respect ourselves, the less toxic decisions we're going to make and the less toxic boyfriends we're going to go out with. Because we're going to want to vibrate to where we are. So if we're vibrating low, we're going to look for low vibrating things. That's how it works. That's why I was saying about the gentleman that was talking about trying to quit drinking, he's going to have to walk away from his habits and from what he did in his past, like in his spare time. And he's going to have to walk away probably from his friends and start picking a new life. So that means you're really going to have to honor and respect yourself if you want to see changes in your life, right? Sounds right to me anyways. Hi, my son is in ICU with nerve damage to his right leg, which they say will be permanent. Quad bike accident. Please let me know what I need to do to see you in Canada. We're in Sydney, Australia. I really wish we had somebody in Sydney, Australia, but you can come to Canada, or if you want to come to Orlando, or if you want to come to Palm Springs, California. But if you come here, I promise you, okay, I just would love to do this, Joe. If you can get over here, I promise you that we will make huge changes for your son. Okay? You heard what I said. And everybody, we will, and if Joe is okay with it, we'll come on and we will show the world, Joe, that, and we'll do it anyway. I'll let you come on no matter what the results are. But I'm going to tell you something. Joe, I don't know anybody that we haven't been able to help, and that's a reality. I'm not saying that there's a total turnaround in every case, but if you saw how amazing this work is, you'd be already here. Okay, you'd be so excited about it. Let me tell you something, Joe. There's nobody doing this work out there except for us. Okay, you know what? When's the last time you heard anybody talk about it? Chiropractors don't talk about scar tissue. Okay, physios don't. Massage therapists don't. They use their hands. You can't even feel the stuff. You can't find the crystals. You can't find the calcium deposits. You can't find the damage, right? Acupunctures. I have a doctorate in acupuncture. It will help to move energy around, but it still doesn't do this work. I can tell you right now that we've had people that were told that they're never going to walk again properly, or they're not going to walk again because there's something wrong with their spine, or that they're not going to do this or they're not going to do that, or they're going to need surgery. And we've proved that that's wrong. That's all I'm going to say. You know what? If you take a look at the videos on YouTube, you take a look at all the things I do, am I hiding out? I don't care if people say, you know what, he's just boasting, or, you know what, no, I want the world to know about this. And the other thing, Joe, is if you come here for personal treatment and training, we'll teach you and your husband how to do this. And guess what? You won't need me and you won't need anyone else. And that is what the elite are scared about. What if you truly learned to love, respect, and honor yourself and you became your own practitioner? This would become a different world, wouldn't it? If you knew how to master pain and that pain was your GPS, if you knew how to master your mind and everything in your subconscious was a beautiful thought that was dipped in love, total love from you, and you can keep all the thoughts that your parents gave you that were in total love, but the ones that they weren't, you can put those in the toilet, flush them down forever. And that's what we want to teach you. I tell my kids all the time, you know what? I screwed you up. I'm here to help you if you want. And just remember, get rid of the things that you didn't like that I taught you. Because if you don't, you're going to pass them on to your children. And what do we all want? We want our children to be better than us. And they can't be better than us if we believe that we taught them everything that was amazing, because we didn't. I gave my kids toxic thoughts, toxic programs. Welcome to the game. Okay. Dr. Wolfe, I am a soft tissue therapist from Australia. I would like to see your Wolfe non-surgical massage and would like information on your masterclass, please. I will be 60 in April and still love what I do very much. So if you go to itioh.com, you'll see all the information for the courses and the certifications. If you email me at quickstart@docofdetox.com, go into the A to Z Wellness, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Go into my Braveheart program. Go into the Perfect Day Guide. And then go in to look for Fasting for Perfect Health. And you go chew on that. Okay? And then take a look at the Holy Grail of Healing video. And then also look at How's Your Plumbing. Wow. We didn't even get to the other questions yet. Okay. All right. So anyways, I'm going to make it to the end of these questions, and all the other questions we're going to have to save, right? That's what we'll do? Yeah.
You do another Q&A on Friday?
Yeah. Or maybe what we should do, why don't I take 2 questions every day and I'll just answer them on Facebook. So you know what I'll do? I don't want to do another Q&A on Friday. They don't want to see me on Friday. They got better plans. Spring's almost here. There's probably not even anybody watching right now. Okay? So anyways, so what I'll do is I'll take 2 questions that are here, and I'll maybe we'll answer 1 or 2 a day. How's that? Okay. All right, because we're only going to do this on Mondays, because if we start doing this whole consultation lottery, right? Okay. All right. Okay. You know, you may not have a life, Drake. Okay, here we go. Let me see. Anna, are you? Hydrogenating. Do you mean using a machine that is a hydrogen water purifier? Or are you talking about carbonation? Well, carbonation, you know how they have these new soda carbonation things you can buy? Boy, if you're doing that, then guess what? You're destroying your stomach and your intestines, and you're hardening your arteries. Please, any of those soda makers, man, you wait until you see the heart problems you're going to have. Those things are dangerous. As far as hydrogen goes, when I run my water through here, I naturally release hydrogen from the water. Do I have a hydrogen machine? No, I do not. Like a Kangen? No, I don't. So I do that. But you know what? More important than getting hydrogen in is the structuring. All right? People don't want to believe it because this is like, you know, you buy one of these, or you buy a structure unit for your house. That's it for life. No moving parts, no filters. So, yeah. I like to duplicate nature, and this duplicates nature more than anything else, all right? So that's why I do this. Do you have any practitioners in Houston? No, I do not. Houston, Texas. We don't. No, we don't. Vicky, Dr. Wolfe, are coffee enemas safe when there has been a bowel resection? Yeah, sure. But, you know, let's have it heal. And you know what? It takes, like, for a bowel resection, depends on the person, can take about 8 to 10 weeks, maybe. Ask your doctor, say, is it completely healed? I would definitely want to do it, okay? I'd want to do the daily cleansing tea, too, because you don't want any more trouble there. And if you had a bowel resection, guess what you got? You got massive scar tissue where they went and put it back together. And you need to have someone like Wolfe Non-Surgical go in there, and they're going to find all these knots in here, and you want to go in there and lovingly take those apart and make it into beautiful connected tissue. Don't worry, it's not going to fall apart from what they did. But you want to get rid of the scar tissue because, what did I say? Surgeries cause more scar tissue than anything else. Tammy, what should be taking to boost immune system? Well, to boost your immune system, I'd be doing the curcumin cayenne. If I had the money, I'd be doing Amerigen, the SAC. Okay, and remember something. The reason why you have to boost an immune system is because there's so much inflammation and infection. So let's go back to what we're talking about. Get rid of the infection in the bowel. Get rid of the infection in the gallbladder, liver. So we really need to do coffee enemas. I'd be looking at the daily cleansing tea. I'd be looking at fulvic and tummy love in my drinking water, because now I'm getting humic that will protect me against any viruses as well in the tummy love. But if you have a real weakened immune system, you want to take humic because it will encapsulate any virus that comes in. It doesn't allow any virus to live. Okay? But the best thing to actually help your immune system is to get on the perfect day diet. And then take a look at intermittent fasting in the perfect day diet. And then start fasting 1 day a week and doing the advanced water fast. And then get into 3 days a week after. Try 1 day a week for about 3 weeks to a month. Then try a 3-day water fast. And then you're going to be going, oh, wow, wow. I can actually go a day without starving. I feel even better. Oh, I can go 3 days. You know, and I've had people do up to 60 days of our advanced water fasting. And you can say that's dangerous, but it's not. Sorry, it's not. It saves lives, okay? It saves lives. When you do a water fast and you use our ATP, our fulvic, and our enemas minerals, and you do the ultimate coffee enema, what you're going to find is you're going to get rid of the scar tissue crystallization. You're going to release, if you were to do a 12-day advanced water fast, you can release as much stem cells as $125,000 stem cell therapy. Take a look at the people who have done it. Take a look at the stories, how scar tissue, how they've turned around their illnesses. Okay, there was a guy named Jesus that used to fast all the time. That's because Jesus wanted to bring his vibration up. He wanted to heal his body. He wanted to vibrate high so that he could speak to who? The big boy, right? Okay. Not the big boy, but you know who. The creator. All right. So, what should I be what should I be taking to boost? Again, it's the perfect day diet. And what we talked about here. Okay? And to be honest with you, your personality shapes your reality. And at the beginning, nobody has the same program with us. Because everybody has different symptoms. They're not the cause, but we have to take a look at the symptoms. They're not the main thing. Because when we look at someone and we want to show them how to heal themselves, we take a look at the person, not their illnesses. So what I'm talking about is we look at the condition the person is in, not the conditions they have. Because your emotions and your attitude creates everything physical that you see. What are the best things to do after Achilles tendon has been operated on? Well, I'd find a Wolfe non-surgical therapist to go in there and get rid of the excess scar tissue because you've got lots of it, okay? I would also use DMSO on there. I would use the gel first until it really starts to soften it up. Then I would go to the rose cream. Here they are right here. Okay. There's the gel. It's much stronger than the rose cream. You can actually put the rose cream on your face. And I won't talk about that today, but if anybody has any questions next Monday about how to work on your face, if you send those in to me, different things, right from age spots to acne to scars, you can get rid of it all, okay? Where was I? Oh yeah, the Achilles tendon. When I go to show, I'm actually going to show how to work on the feet and that for people, so that, and knees and places that you can work. Eventually we'll get there, and then we're going to put it in the do-it-yourself part in YouTube. But you can use DMSO, you should be using pain away, and then you should be doing different stretch exercises, which I can't show you right now. But maybe what I'll do is I'll tell you what. Can you remind me, Drake? I'll do an Achilles tendon one, and I'll do a Facebook for you. I don't know when, maybe in the next few days. If you can remind me, Drake. So if you don't see it, you know it's Drake's fault. Okay, so just call the office and ask for Drake. Okay. Here's the last one. No, two more. Dr. Darrell, are you... Okay. Anyways, thanks for the compliment. I won't read the compliment. But thank you very much, Emojine. I have a 40-year-old daughter who had thyroid surgery a few years ago, and now the lymph nodes are growing slowly but are becoming pronounced. Well, that's because of the scar tissue around the area, love. And make and did they take the thyroid right out? But it's probably the scar tissue around the area. The scar tissue around the area grows, and then it blocks the lymph flow. Go figure. Why do you think when somebody has surgery and they get like a fibroid or a tumor removed here, then you'll see the lymph nodes start to swell and everything here? You've got to go in whether we're talking here or we're talking around the neck area, you got to go in after the surgery and after it's healed. The body always overcompensates with scar tissue after surgery, or even if you didn't have surgery, a sports injury, or you had an infection that created inflammation. It's going to leave scar tissue. I don't care what the problem is. Think up any problem you want, and I could go in there, do Wolfe non-surgical, and I'm going to turn you around, or within 10 minutes to no more than 30 minutes, you're going to go, I'm in the right place. That's right. Because guess what? It's a scar tissue issue. Look at physical blocks cause the problem. They cause the problem. You know, people that have chronic diseases have 10 to 20 blocks in their body. That's why people will come here for 7 days. And we'll go in and we'll untie these. We'll get rid of that scar tissue. Then we'll teach them how not to come back. And that's like, we just had a family that had 2 children, and the parents learned this. We have another family coming with the parents and a 14-year-old daughter. They're going to learn this. So they're going to go home. They're going to emotionally learn about themselves and each other, to stop playing those family curse games. And then they're going to learn how to work on each other with the Wolfe non-surgical. They're not going to be certified. It's not like a full certification course, but they're going to be able to go in, and guess what? Well, now I got to make a treatment. Now I got to go see a doctor. Now I got to go take a pill. It's over. Until we can get every family having someone in there who's going to become a practitioner. Okay, do you know what doctor means? Teacher. Okay? All right? So people who even call themselves doctors aren't even doctors unless they're teaching people how to look after themselves. Did you hear me? Okay? That's why in medicine it's called physician and surgeons. They're physicians and they're surgeons. Okay. So anyways, lymph node problem. If it was my lymph nodes, I would be putting immunity on those lymph nodes, and I'd be putting it around where the surgery was with the scar tissue, okay? And that's the problem. And remember, once you have scar tissue, if you have an inflammatory diet, or you have a bowel that's backing up, or a sluggish liver, then you're going to have more infection with more inflammation. And where does the scar tissue always grow? In the weak link. And wherever there's surgery, that's a weak link. Everybody always has some kind of problem. They say, yeah, I don't have the pain anymore, but I'm damn stiff. Well, if you want to get rid of that stiffness, hey, Grandpa, how you doing? Oh, I'm fine. Don't feel a thing. Well, that's because he's just one big piece of beef jerky. But how much fun is he to be with? He can't even hardly move anymore because he's going to tear out. Let me tell you something before we close off today. This world is so crazy, okay? I was in the Orlando airport. I probably saw 20 canes. I probably saw about 10 walkers. I saw a few scooters. I don't even know how they get them on the planes or what the heck is going on here. But the reality is, you never saw this when I was a kid. You saw somebody with a cane when they were 95 years old, or when they were older, or if they just had surgery. But you didn't see people with canes and walkers. You just didn't see it. We have been crippled. And I'm telling you right now, you're telling me that there's not an organization out there that's feeding off of the pain and suffering of all the planet? Come on. Come on. Okay, let me see here. It's a very dangerous surgery. What's that? Lymph nodes are growing slowly but are becoming pronounced. And she consulted with 2 surgeons and they are talking surgery. It's a very dangerous surgery as it's in the neck. What do you say? I say that surgeons only know surgery, so eventually you're going to have to surgery. If you go to a surgeon enough, you're going to get surgery. If you go to a doctor enough, you're going to get drugs. And right now, there's a rule. For every 10 years that somebody lives, they should be on another drug. So if you're 60 years old, you're supposed to be on 6 drugs. Those are the rules. So if you go to a physician, you're going to get drugs. If you go to a surgeon, you're going to get surgery. And if you come to us, chances are you're not going to go because guess what? Not because of us, because of what we show you, what we teach you, your body's going to heal itself. You know, isn't it kind of funny how the body forgot how to heal in the last 75 years? Pretty crazy, eh? Pretty crazy. And I'm not saying get rid of medical system. I'm saying that if you go to a 911 system every day, you become the emergency. I'm telling you that God created you and you need to take your power back. What do you say? How can she know something that would change her mind and do something else? Let me tell you something. And you're not going to believe this either today, but people pick the treatment and the therapy depend on how much they love themselves. And you know what? If I was taught that I was supposed to get love and care from everyone else and I didn't get it, you can't live without love. But what happens when you get sick? What if you're not getting the attention from your mother, your father? What if you're not getting enough attention from your husband or your wife? What happens when you get sick? What happens when you limp? People pay attention. But no, family, after a while, they get numbed out. But guess what? You can keep on going to the doctor and you're going to get some kind of attention, aren't you? And then isn't it something when you get told by people that it's not your fault, it's genetic. There's nothing we can do. You're just going to be on this medication for life. There's nothing we can do, but you're going to do this surgery, but that's it. That's your only option. Right? At least you're getting some form of attention. So if you're not going to love yourself and give yourself the attention you need, you're going to seek it. And when you do, you may not like it. Let me tell you something. Love, it's a self-serve job. You think I'm kidding? Healthcare is a self-serve job. God gave you a body. And you got a manual that was corrupted. I understand that. But it's still your responsibility to learn how to master this beautiful masterpiece. And let me tell you something. As far as love goes, I'm going to tell you over and over again, 3, 2, 1, I got this. 3, 2, 1, I love you, Darrell. I'm going to respect you and I'm going to protect you. I got you. Let me tell you something. This body was your vehicle, was given to you. Nobody else can look after it. That's the game. You actually have been trained that you are stupid, that you are too dumb to look after yourself, that a scientific breakthrough is a health breakthrough, that a technological breakthrough is a breakthrough, that a new surgery or a new device to put into the body is a breakthrough. It's not a breakthrough. It's a breakup. There are no shortcuts. Don't get cut. There are no shortcuts. You're going to have to love yourself. You're going to have to respect yourself. You're going to have to take care of yourself. That's the only way you're going to get out of this mess. Damn it, I don't want to look after myself. And I don't like that Dr. Wolfe. All he talks about is loving yourself. Yeah, I know. Because guess what? Love is the answer, but it only becomes the answer when it's a self-serve job. You've got to fill up your tank first. Because as soon as you fill up your tank, guess what? You're feeding your spirit. Fill up that tank of love. Yes, you are amazing. You are beautiful. I need you to get this. I'm not putting on a show right now. If you're not going to love yourself, then you're screwed. You're screwed. If you're not going to forgive yourself totally, and you know what? Mind your own business. Like I said earlier, mind your own business because the world is going to try to get you to go war with yourself, your war with everyone else. It's going to try to get you to hate something or somebody. I hate no one. I will tell you, though, there are people that have beliefs that I don't care for at all. But when you hate someone, you're hating on yourself. When you hate something about yourself, you're hating on yourself. You can't do that because the invisible is the most important thing. It creates the visible. Your thoughts are everything. Damn it, you love yourself now. And you practice that. I talked to a girl this morning. Her name is Amber. Amber, you got to do this. And we've been talking to her now for 3 weeks. And you know what? I told her, I said, she goes, I can't give up pot. I can't give it up. Now at least I don't have it in the car. I said, yeah, but she still has it in her house. I said, Amber, you can't toke in the house. You have a teenage daughter. You're teaching your daughter that you have to have a toke just to calm down so that because you don't want to blow up. And you're teaching your daughter that you don't have the strength to love yourself. You've got to teach your daughter that it's okay that she loves herself totally. So, Mom, you've got to learn to do that. We've all got to do it better. I've got to do it better. I can't get so busy at doing this that I don't give my family the time and the attention they need when they want it. I don't know. I really don't know. I just know this, that love is the answer, and what you focus on is really important. And like I told Amber, I said, Amber, you know what? You just got to do this. I said, I bet you do the love band only 3 times. I told you, you might need to do it 30 times in an hour. That means like what? Once every 2 minutes? So when you're just sitting there, you know what? Because guess what, everybody? I'm going to let you go in a minute. This is called a love band, life band. This is 3, 2, 1, I got this, Braveheart. Guess what? When you count backwards and go 3, 2, 1, it takes it from your subconscious into your conscious mind. You are not doing things because you are not moving forward with your life because you're stupid. I'm telling you, that's not true. You got everything you need. You're not doing it because you're a procrastinator. You did it because you hesitated. Every time that you want to do something new, even if it's exciting, it's going to change your life, it's going to make your life better. If you don't go 3, 2, 1, I got this, your subconscious is going to try to stop you. 90% of your brain is your subconscious. Your subconscious isn't a thinker. It's not even thinking. It's just a program. It just stores programs, and it doesn't matter if you're killing yourself, it's going to run them. And until you prove to your subconscious, there's a new sheriff in town called Total Love, and you're going to do this 10,000 times. I got this. That's the old me. I got this. I don't care what people think. I'm going to love myself. I'm going to let them off the hook. I'm going to find new friends. I'm going to find new habits. I'm going to make better choices. I'm not going to bring that food home. I'm not going to bring alcohol home anymore. I'm not going over to Harry's house because everybody smokes pot and then they just eat taco chips. Okay? I'm going to start exercising. I'm not just going to sit on the couch and watch sports. I'm not going to complain about my government or politics anymore because it's never changed, and it never will until a percentage of the population takes their life back, because guess what? The government you have is the government that the majority deserves. The health system we have is the health system that the majority deserves. The love you have, the relationships you have, you deserve, until you raise your vibration and believe and know that you deserve more. God bless. Thanks for joining us. And just know we have a show on Wednesday, and I will see you next Monday. And join the lottery. Fill out the consultation if you want. We'll be picking somebody, and we'll be figuring out when we're going to do this. And truly, God bless, but then you're already blessed. If you're looking for life-saving and life-changing information, well, you've come to the right place. Don't forget to click and subscribe. Stay connected.